Hey guys, Michael here. I wanted to share with you my tip of the week when it comes to being your authentic self. We talk a lot about authenticity here at the Gay Men's Brotherhood. It is one of our core values. But for a lot of people, we don't really know what that means or necessarily how to be our authentic selves. And it sounds very simplistic, but it's true. We talk about being authentic to ourselves because we know that it's easier to love yourself when you know yourself truly, not who you think you should be, not who you want to be, but who you actually are. And so, for me personally, this was a hard thing to stumble onto on my journey because I was confusing my authentic self with who I wanted to be. And those are two very valuable concepts, your future self and your current self, and even your past self. But for today, let's just focus on three questions you could ask yourself to better get to know yourself, right? So, a lot of us have been wearing these masks for so long that we have gotten so good at them that they actually blur the line between what is real and what is a mask. And so, here are some questions that you can ask yourself, and I would definitely recommend writing these down. I put them on a board here for you so that you can write them down. And if you're someone who journals, which I highly recommend, by the way, then go ahead and write them in your journal and maybe take some time to think about them later on. Okay, so question number one. What do your closest friends know about you? Okay, this is about asking yourself, what do your closest friends and loved ones know about you that nobody else does? What are the things that they would tell me about you that you don't want to show other people? That's a really good place to start. So, for example, my closest friends know my deepest fears. They know the mistakes I've made. They know my journey very well. They know that I'm afraid of speaking in public. They know that I have a lot of other fears. And so, they know things about me that I wouldn't necessarily want to share with someone who I've just met, who maybe I'm trying to win over their approval or get them to like me. When I put on that mask of like, okay, I want to show up as this ideal version of myself, I put all those things away. So, question number one, ask yourself, what do my closest friends know about me that I don't necessarily want to share with other people? Now, this exercise is not about going out and sharing all those things with the world. It's simply about you getting to know yourself from a greater place of self-awareness. Okay. The next thing kind of goes off the first one. And the second question is, what do you hide about yourself? This is about learning those things that are within you, that are part of you, that you have shame about, that you don't necessarily want anyone else to see, that you don't even want to acknowledge within yourself. A lot of people might call this shadow work, getting to know your shadow, befriending your shadow. Simply put, the things about yourself that are part of you, part of your experience, that you don't want to be there, that you reject, that you push away. These are things that might be mistakes you've made in the past, things you have a lot of regret over, parts of your personality that you don't like, that you wish weren't there. Maybe you have an anger problem. Maybe you're very jealous. Either way, these are all the parts of your personality or of your experience that you reject within yourself. And these are things that you might not even want to share with even your closest friends, and you might not want to share even with yourself. But it's very important to shine a light on these things because part of loving your authentic self means loving, well, first accepting the parts of you that you don't even want to be there. The parts that you push away, scoop them up, bring them in, and accept them. And then from there, you can release them, integrate them, learn to love them, and so on. Okay, third question. What are your true desires? This one's my favorite. What are your true desires? This is all about really tapping into your authentic desires. What do you really love? What do you really want? Not what does society want you to want, or not what, what your friend circle thinks that you should have, but what do you really want? What kind of life do you want to build? What kind of future do you see for yourself authentically? Do you, actually want that high paying job and that fancy title and that nice house, or do you want something else? Do you just want a life of ease and peace and security and safety? This is about really tapping into what you truly want without that lens of societal norms, without the lens of what your family has told you that you should be and should want without the lens of even gay culture, right? So often in gay culture, we're told as gay men, we're led to believe that we should look like this or we should have this and we should be doing all these things. But in reality, if that's not who you are, then that's okay. So this question is simply about tapping into what it is you truly love and desire in your life without being mad at yourself for wanting it, right? It's about learning to love your desires because your desires are the breadcrumbs to the most fulfilling life that you could lead. So these are the first few questions, the very first few steps that you could ask yourself on the journey to loving yourself fiercely without apology. Okay, there is some kind of landscaping going on outside my apartment, so I'm going to end this now. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week and be well.